Distinguished guests, dear colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zagreb, Croatia and the 18th Summer School of the European Association of Schools in Occupational Medicine, the EASOM. Thank you for joining us and supporting efforts of the Croatian Institute for Health Protection and Safety at Work in organizing this year's EASOM Summer School. I would like to welcome the President of EASOM, EASOM Secretary General and members of the EASOM Board. Allow me to express my appreciation for having this opportunity given to my institute with hosting this summer school. My special thanks goes to our co-host, Professor Kujundžić-Tiljak, Director of the School of Public Health, Andrija Štampar, for having us here. Today we have a privilege and an honor to greet distinguished guests, Director of the Croatian Institute for Public Health, Director of the Croatian WHO Collaborating Center on Occupational Health, representative of International Labour Organization International Training Center in Turin, representatives of several scientific committees of International Commission on Occupational Health, founders of the Learning and Developing Occupational Health Foundation, and colleagues from fellow universities and institutions in this great community of EASOM. To the best of my knowledge, this is also the first EASOM summer school that gives floor to experts from outside Europe. So today with us is James Caraba from the Bassett Healthcare Network, New York Center for Agriculture, Medicine and Health. Last but not least, after the suggestion of the Institute, this is the first time that the host and the EASOM will join efforts to fund residents in occupational medicine to join and attend the summer school. This year we have 8 colleagues from all over Croatia attending the summer school. Thank you, members of the EASOM board, and thank you, President, for accepting and supporting this idea. The topic of this summer school, concepts of educational efficiency, effectiveness and quality, how to design, conduct and evaluate a good quality educational seminar in occupational health and safety, with special address to occupational risks in agriculture, underpins the importance of Štampar's ideas on provision of health protection and guidance he offers even now to generations of today's medical doctors. Majority of agricultural workers in the world are not protected by National Safety at Work Act, and some countries specifically exclude the agricultural sector from their general labor legislation and or from occupational safety and health, the OSH legislation. National systems for improving OSH in agriculture are also inadequate in many countries, and relevant occupational health and safety advice is scarce. Moreover, since many children live on farms, the risk of accidents and diseases to them is significantly increased. In agriculture, added constraints of illiteracy, ignorance of workers' rights, geographical and cultural isolation render the task of providing OSH among rural workers in particular difficult. Thus, improving OSH in agriculture faces great challenges and needs to be addressed on several fronts. National authorities should establish a relevant national policy and develop OSH legislation taking into account ILO conventions and recommendations. Special consideration should be given to developing national occupational health and safety programs for agriculture that include education of different target groups. Being a tool for empowerment, education is always in the center of each EASOM summer school. So what do we know about the risks? What can we say to our students, to future family doctors and occupational medicine specialists, to nurses or even to workers? EASOM itself, as a nucleus for providing exchange of knowledge and experience in teaching, has several strategies to address challenges in education of experts who provide health protection to workers, like making available knowledge and information in occupational medicine and related fields by means of publications, educational material and meetings on occupational medicine teaching, like the summer school, for example. Keeping an up-to-date overview of education and training programs and curricula of member schools. Contributing to the development of methods of testing and quality assurance of education and training in occupational medicine. When we look at the broader picture, It is quite peculiar that we are in the home of Andrea Stampar, who founded the School of Public Health, co-fathered the birth of World Health Organization, and it is this year, on the 12th day of September, that we will celebrate the 40th anniversary of the WHO Alma Ata Declaration. I believe nobody can think of a better synergy between la raison de l'entrée of this summer school, the venue, and the timing. Dear colleagues and friends, my dear residents in occupational medicine, I challenge you all to discuss some of guiding postulates of Andrea Stampar that closely relate to this summer school, like the doctor needs to look for the patient, not the other way around, to cover all those who need protection. The doctor should be a national teacher. The issue of public health is of greater economic rather than humanitarian importance. The main point of medical treatment is where people live, not the office. Ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with these thoughts and wish you a warm welcome to Zagreb and this event on behalf of the host, the Croatian Institute for Health Protection and Safety at Work, and on behalf of the co-host School of Public Health.
Dear Dr. Marija Bubaš, Director of the Croatian Institute for Health Protection and Safety at Work, Dr. Giza Schmeisser, President of the European Association of Schools of Occupational Medicine, and Assistant Professor Krunoslav Capak, Director of the Croatian Institute for Public Health, other distinguished guests, dear colleagues and participants of this summer school. I would like to welcome you on behalf of Professor Marijan Klarica, Dean of the University of Zagreb School of Medicine, as well as on behalf of Andrea Stampar School of Public Health. It has been our great honor to co-organize and host EASOM Summer School 2018. Last year, 2017, we were celebrating the 90th anniversary of the founding of the Andrea Stampar School of Public Health and 100 years since the foundation of the Zagreb School of Medicine. Our School of Public Health became a part of School of Medicine in 1947. That means that we are together more than 70 years. Our graduate and postgraduate students get common education in basic, clinical and public health medicine. Among many other postgraduate courses, the specialization of occupational medicine has a very long tradition, and in Croatia, it started here in our school. Our great teacher and visionary Professor Andrea Stampar, a pioneer in preventive medicine and one of the founders and the first president of the World Health Organization's General Assembly in 1947, is responsible for establishing today's network of public health institutions. He is the father of preventive medicine not only in Croatia but also in the world. Stampar's definition of health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not just absence of illness or inability, has been maintained to nowadays, and it is incorporated into the Constitution of the World Health Organization. Andrea Stampar was brought up in a rural part of Croatia, in Slavonia, in a village called Brodski Drenovac, and his father, a school teacher, was also farmer. Living in countryside, Stampar observed carefully the life of farmers. So living in the countryside, he knew very good the best and the worst of farmers' life. Later in his life, his ideas on the hygiene of the village were presented at the International Conference during 1936-37. In 1938, he visited the United States as a guest professor at Harvard, Yale, and California universities. From 1952 to 1957, Professor Stampar was Dean of the School of Medicine here in Zagreb and also a rector of Zagreb University. Andrea Stampar strived to make practical training much more involved in preparing young doctors for their career and work. Today, so many years after Stampar, we speak of practical teaching and visiting workplaces for educational purposes. Finally, occupational health and safety in agriculture today, maybe more than ever, has a specific place in education of occupational medicine physicians and meets its great challenges. Hence, this topic of how to make a good quality educational seminar with specific address to health hazards in agriculture is in a sense paying tribute to Andrea Stamper. On the other hand, a part of education of future occupational medicine specialists is provided here in Andrea Stamper School of Public Health in the Department of Environmental and Occupational Health and Sports. So it makes us very proud to provide venue for the European Association of Schools in Occupational Medicine here in the Andrea Stamper School of Public Health at University of Zagreb School of Medicine. I wish you all very successful summer school, and I hope that you will enjoy here in our beautiful city of Zagreb. Thank you.
Dear hosts, Dr. Bubaš, Dr. Kujić-Tiljak, Dr. Milošević, and dear Mr. Schmeisser, President of EASOM, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you on behalf of the Croatian National Institute of Public Health. First, I'm very happy that this event is here in this temple of public health. Piece of the history have been told by the Dr. Kujić-Tiljak, and I recommend you in the next few days to see a little bit of the history of this school and Dr. Andrea Stamper, whose discussions of the socioeconomic determinants of health from the beginning of last century are very actual and valuable today. Second thing which I would like to share with you is that from the public health perspective, I'm very happy with the topic chosen for this summer school. Many people all over the world are working in agriculture on the very difficult circumstances, exposed to the chemicals, to mechanical hazards, to climate hazards, etc. And many of them are vulnerable population, women and children. I will mention that one of our research from 2012 shows that in one of our county, Požeško-Slavonska, half of the children who are living in the agricultural households are working daily in agriculture. And 1/3 of them in last year had some injuries in agriculture. So we have to work and put many efforts on the protection of this vulnerable population. I'm also very happy to say to you that two of the experts from Croatian National Institute of Public Health are working in Cost Securima project, which will be one of the topic in next 2 days. And I hope this project will give us a good situation analysis and some of the tools for future work on the enhancing of health protection and safety in agriculture. I'm welcoming you to Croatia, to Zagreb. I wish you a very fruitful meeting and also pleasant stay in Zagreb. Thank you very much.
Dear colleagues, distinguished guests, I'm glad to be here in the name of WHO Collaborating Center for Occupational Health. And as a teacher of this school, I'm also head of our postgraduate study in occupational and sports medicine, and every physician, every specialist that finish as occupational and sports medicine specialty in Croatia goes through this School of Public Health. And I'm so proud of it. And why agricultural workers? Possibly more than any other occupational group, agricultural workers are exposed to a great variety of environmental hazards. And these hazards include organic dust, noise, pesticides, heat stress, extreme weather conditions, workplace violence, pathogens, and vector-borne diseases. Vehicle rollovers, falls, hazardous equipment, and prolonged repetitive physical activity can all lead to a wide range of injuries and, in extreme cases, death. Developed nations have resources and infrastructure to moderate these risks through planning and development, labor policy, safety regulations, treatment and prevention programs for workers. But poorer workers in developing nations have fewer options to protect against these growing risks. Occupational hazards don't just threaten the safety of agricultural workers who must work under those conditions. Such risks may have a national and global impact. Agricultural workers will play an important role in global food demand, so their health directly influences our health. Croatian WHO Collaborative Center for Occupational Health, cited at University of Zagreb School of Medicine and the School of Public Health Andrija Stamper, has important activities regarding those vulnerable groups of workers with huge impact of their health and fitness to work. As director of WHO Collaborative Center for Occupational Health, I'm pleased to welcome you and to wish a successful meeting and fruitful discussions on this EASOM summer school that we have all benefits of it. Thank you.
Honorary audience, dear Dr. Bubash, dear colleagues. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you as president of EASOM on the event of the 18th EASOM Summer School here in Zagreb, Croatia. This is the first time this event is taking place in the state of Croatia, and it always has been my intention to move around to all member states' institutions which are involved in EASOM. That's because the fundamental idea of the European Union and its associations is not only an economic one, but that we learn to know as much as possible from each other to form and become a strong European society, integrating many different skills, knowledges, and experiences, and even ethical differences. And this is the only chance for a better human understanding and a better communication among all of us, and on the long term to survive on this multicultural continent. From a technical view, we in the world of today are living in a globalized society of information, and we are only minutes away from things which happen on the opposite side of the earth. We, as physicians, look back to a common history which was formulated first in the Hippocratic vow, having been our professional ethical fundament since then. But especially during the last few years, European and worldwide developments are drawing backwards by falling back into nationalistic tendencies. This makes it most important that we all withstand those movements, because this is fundamental for a long-lasting peace, not only in Europe, but in the whole world. Only from our history we can build our future. So right now we live in historical times, and EASOM is only a small grain of sand in this context, but we, as its members, are parts of this dimension. And the closer we work together, the stronger we can be. So it's important for a better understanding of each other to know how things are done elsewhere. That's why at EASOM Summer Schools we always look at a topic which is chosen by the local organizer from as many standpoints as possible to find out why we do things and where and what the common ideas are and which ones could be adopted to become general common basics. So thank you to the organizers for an interesting program that they have worked out for this year's EASOM Summer School by looking deeper into preventive medical aspects in the world of agriculture from a more conceptual level. Being myself very convinced about Europe and the European idea, I wish all of you fruitful and effective talks and discussions, and last but not least, a very good time here in the marvelous surrounding of Zagreb. And I thank especially Dr. Maria Bubaš, being the head of the local organizers, for the opportunity to come to this marvelous city. So enjoy and also have fun beside the work. Thank you very much.